Thank you very much, everybody. And I want to give my special thanks to Tatanisha, Regan, the OCISO, and the One Hub for giving me the opportunity to present this very, very important segment or strategy for the business. So I'm grateful to all of you. And there are a lot more here in this session so that I can also empower myself with your experiences. So already Tatanisha has introduced me to you, and I originally am from India, but I live in Bangladesh because my husband is Bangladeshi. And being the academician, I always thought to think about business, and I try to think about business, especially the social entrepreneurship. So long back, I started my own enterprise, which is a very small one, but then also I feel like it's really one of the very good learning platform for me as well, being the business professor and teaching business or economics to the people, the students. Yeah, so that's all about my background. And um, in between my learning, because I'm a lifelong learner also, I always try to get some learning from different areas. So in that, I also did something from MIT, and I also did on social entrepreneurship, as Tatanisha explained and mentioned. So yeah, being the entrepreneur, even apart from academician, as we are all here, and this is very much about entrepreneurship, the business, I think most of us understand very well that business is having many things, you know, what type of many things. We are all consumers as well, right? We are the entrepreneurs, we are the consumers also. And how you feel about yourself being a consumer. If I say about myself, I feel I'm a very complicated consumer because my expectations are very high from many of the things, right? Starting from buying a pen to the AC or to the furniture, I want the right price and I want the right product with full packaging in a very professional manner. So I find myself to be a very complicated consumer. I don't know how is your feeling about yourself. Uh, but why I'm saying this, because we are dealing with the businesses of ours and we are dealing with the consumers as well. So this particular segment, which is about consumer, is really very important. But at the same time, the other things are also important. So I would like to share my screen and would like to go ahead a bit more. Just give me a second. Yeah. So we all know very well from consumer point of view, this is really very, very difficult for everybody to deal with. At the same time, we are in the time of, very modern, high-tech society, high-tech technological innovations. And all these are creating the whole world a very complex place with lots and lots of competition, which I feel we all are facing around us, right? But this is not very easy for us to deal with because at the same time, everywhere in the universe, I should say, unfortunately, this COVID and then after COVID, I should say, or post-COVID, whatever we call it, we are having a lot more other simultaneous shocks and crisis, the economic crisis, which has already disturbed the whole working environment. And this is becoming very tough for the businesses to sustain. And this new scenario, this new environment, which is full with lots of complexities, are just trying to compel us to think about the new solutions because the whole business scenario is very different. If we compare from 2 years back, 5 years back, or 10 years back, it's not the same as it was before. So how to find out the new solutions? Because we are dealing with so many indicators, so many shocks, and crises. It's for everybody at the same time. If we just try to think about the small businesses, this is much severe. Because small businesses are very vulnerable. They're having a lot more challenges which the big businesses never face. And many of us are aware about this because we're all dealing with that. We look for the financial supports. We look for the partnership networks. We want to expand our market outside. We also want to build our capacity. So here we are trying to look for how we can build our capacity in a better manner. What type of strategies we could apply, which will be really workable to solve this new scenario challenges. So what is there which we are actually looking for? So it's not even only about you and me who are doing small businesses. It's not about the institutions who are supporting. This should be a collective responsibility. Because we need to break this barrier. We need to foster the positive environment because this COVID and after crisis things have already created a lot more negative things. So our approach should be holistic. We should see everything together. We cannot just think about the customer. We cannot just think about the loan policies. There are a lot more. We also know that the world population is increasing and there could be 600 more million jobs would be needed by 2030. Or we have to absorb this increased labor force, the workforce. But the important thing is the small and medium-sized businesses with which we are all related play a very important role in Canada and around the world also because they are contributing more to the GDP of the country. And that's true with the Canada. And these small businesses has employed 2 by 3 of the total workforce here as well. And the percentage of population which is involved in the entrepreneurship, which we are all experiencing, and we have seen this, has increased more than 50% over the last 10 years. And this is the study by Global Entrepreneurship Monitor about Canada. And the good thing is that Canada's SME sector is tremendously important to the nation and is responsible for half of the country's private sector employment. So this is really significant from all spheres, all point of view. So the entrepreneurs, I believe you will all agree with me that being the entrepreneur, being the business person, we always try to innovate. And this innovation of ours contribute to the country's economic growth and national prosperity. And we are also creating, which are the impact of these businesses, the good productive employment, the decent employment. And this is also trickling down the income gap and narrowing the inequalities. And we are looking for the SDG goal, which is really to create social justice for everybody. So CVR, the small and medium enterprises are so important, not only for ourselves, for the country and for the humanity as a whole. So by doing business, I think most of us are experiencing different types of challenges at different stages. And we are all realizing that business is never static. The business environment is never static. Sometimes we have to deal with some labor-related problems. Sometimes cost thing is there. Sometimes there's a transportation problem. And sometimes some external factors are there. This COVID has already broken the whole economy. We never thought about. So we have to deal with so many things. Internal, external challenges. And that's the business. And that's the entrepreneurship. We have taken the risk of doing this and we are doing this. But as I just said, the consumer or customer is a very important part of any business. So those who are here, They have mentioned about their businesses, like some of you are trying to import the garment from the India, some of you are doing fabric business with the help of, some artisans, and some are trying to do the e-commerce from Mexico, and some of you are trying to provide the financial services. So I believe that whatever you have planned, the businesses which you are trying or doing at different stages, you know who are the customers, or you're trying to know where are the customers and why there is some change in my business, my profitability, my service providing things. So we have to always think about how, where, and why the customer is changing, because customer change, whatever comes there, is very much depending upon different variables and different factors. It might be the demographics from where they are here, and Canada is a country of diversity. So are we really aware about the different demographics, the geographies from where they are coming or they belong to, the regionalism? Okay. At the same time, are they from rural areas or urban areas, or are they belong to the suburban areas? These are all very important to understand the customer. What about their lifespan, life expectancy? Because we are dealing with different group of customers. Like some of us are dealing with the aging population, some of us are dealing with the young people, some of us are dealing with the women, and lot more. How about their health, their cultural history, their education level, and lot more? Because these are very important for strategy, the strategy about which we are going to dive into deep, the human-centric design thinking. So understanding these demographics will help you to find out those pockets of opportunities. How? Let me explain you. Let me give you some examples. It might be the case that some of us are doing the dress business, the textile business, and there are many more others who are doing similar type of businesses. But the good thing is, you might be aware about that some specific design things work more, which others are not doing. What I'm trying to say, many of them are doing dress business, but maybe you are doing ethnic dress businesses, you are doing modern style dress businesses, some of them are doing office dress businesses. So there are some pockets of opportunities which you will understand very well if you know the demographics of your consumers. So observing the consumers, understanding the consumers are very, very important. I will talk about this again a bit more gradually. So what the consumers want, what more they want are really very important. How are their experiences? What I mean to say, it may happen that somebody has bought a dress for one occasion, and dress looks beautiful. But during winter, it's really not good to wear that dress, and that person wants to wear that dress during winter. So maybe even the dress is looking good, but it's not able to give that protection to the consumer which he or she is looking for during winter. So what the consumer want from that product, understanding this is very, very important. And how are their experiences with the product? Maybe they want the dresses to be delivered online, but I don't have that facility to deliver the dresses online. So am I aware about that special need of that consumer? That's also very, very important. Once a consumer has taken dresses from me, has taken financial services from me, am I asking for how is your experience? Like many times we all experience that when we go to a restaurant They ask for the feedback. They give us some form to fill up. Or sometimes they come and ask, how was the food? So there are different ways of taking feedback. Why we are looking for that? That's also very important, feedback from the customers. Why? Because I just said customers are very much demanding and they're very complex. Sorry. Why? Because they are coming from diverse areas. If you think from Canadian perspective, they are more educated, they're more conscious. They're very much thinking about whether this food, if it is food, is healthy or not. Whether color of dress is good for my health or not. Is there some chemical mixed or not? The component of that mixing is okay or not? Many of them, they want to access those things with their digital devices. They want to order online. And many of them are under great financial pressure because of many of the external factors. They also want trust. And that's very true with the small businesses. We are very well connected and we try to become connected with the customers. So trust is also very important for small businesses. But again, we are that much busy with our daily life and work that we don't have much time to spend. So we want services to be very quicker. We want efficient services. So we are trying to face, we businesses, we the small entrepreneurs are trying to face different types of challenges related with customers. It's not very easy to tackle. It's not very easy to handle, but we are trying. But I just want to ask everybody, are we really crafting the business ideas of ours, keeping in mind the target customers? How they look like means what they're looking for. What they do, because that is very much about their pricing expectation and where they spend their time. Because I'm not only looking for one or two customers, I'm looking for the pool of customers. So am I aware about those, pools where I can really get good number of customers, because I don't want to spend more for my marketing. I am from the group of small entrepreneurs. There are lots of limitations. So we are trying to face different types of challenges, which are very true to handle the customers, the modern customers. So I hope that we are all dealing with the ideation. If we are the starting phase of our business, we are also planning, which are related with the various aspects of the businesses, and we want to execute that. So how much efficient we are there? So we are all thinking, we all think, many people think. So I just want to say, literally all I ever do is thinking. We think and think and think. But how many of us really try to implement what we think? I used to think a lot, I will do this business, I will do that business. But when it actually came to do real business, I was really puzzled what to do, which business I should start with. So thinking is very important, but just not thinking. We all think as an individual when we do sole trader type of business. Even sometime we think in group also for various objectives, reasons. We also think as an institution for various reasons when we do business. But for different levels, the thinking is different and for different reasons. But the target is we want to do a good business. I would like to ask you, what do you think about this picture? Anyone, please, if you would like to answer, like this person is trying to put this box.
That is not going to fit.
And then?
Yeah, the guy is going to get frustrated because he wants to put a box through that is like rectangular through a circular shaped hole.
Right, very
He's
true.
trying hard, but he's not doing it in a smart way.
Right. So we are all trying hard, I believe. I strongly believe we all try hard. And we think whatever we are trying, we're trying from our best. But sometimes that try actually is not the right try. And that is the challenge. That is a challenge which is about the strategy, the design, the framework, which I'm thinking, which you are thinking about your business. And that thing we have to understand. So the strategy, the design, it should be the right design, right product, right marketing, understanding the customers' want in perfect manner. So design may be more powerful that we think, because if the design is not powerful, we cannot get what we are looking for. So if the right design is there, and this right design is not very easy, the perfect strategy, we have to try, because that may change the whole scenario of the business, how it is running. That's very true, and we all accept that. So design, which is the strategy about the business, is trying to provide some, structure, but at the same time, you need to ask questions. Okay, my product is, I have designed a dress of pink color, and I'm thinking this is the best color, which will be liked by everybody. But am I right in my thinking? What I'm trying to ask, is that the question? I mean, is that the background that I'm having a little preemptive mind? I like pink color, so I think that if I design a dress with pink color, everybody will like. So I should have the ability to question. So design requires empathy. Do I have everything to solve the problem? Ask yourself the question. It's not always true that what I'm doing is the right strategy, right design. So effective design will try to shift the whole focus of the business, because we have to think about the people. We have to think about the customer, because we are trying to serve the customer. That's very, very important. So something which is glittering might not suit a customer, the demand or the pain point of the customer. Let me ask you again. It is believed that when we think many times to solve the problems of ours, the pain points of ours. Okay? So say, for example, I want to have a dessert. I would like to have a dessert, but I don't know how to bake a cake. Okay, but I want to have a dessert. So what I did, I tried to bake, but as if I don't know the things properly. So I baked the cake, but it was not the perfect cake. I ate it, but I was not satisfied, because my expectation was very high. In what sense? I was looking for that dessert, which could be maybe the chocolate cake, but as if I was not knowing the proper ingredients, proper way of baking. So I cooked it, but it was not perfect. Why? I was not aware about the way of cooking, way of baking. So here the question is, I'm doing the business, and I started the business by looking at others. Oh, somebody's doing great business. Let us start that same bakery business. Let us start same dress business. That's very true. Okay. But am I really going to solve the problem of somebody by this idea of mine? If I'm not able to solve the problem of somebody, if I'm not trying to give the solution to somebody, I might fail, because there are many others who are doing dress business. Meaning is, Am I understanding the need of my product? Am I understanding the pain point of the customer? Am I understanding the people who is actually the focal point of my customer? So just starting the business with some ideas, with some passion will not work. We have to think about what my customer actually wants. And for that, you have to think like a customer. You have to feel the pain point of the customer. And then you will understand, and then I will understand how much gain that customer is getting out of my product. Am I really going to solve the problem of that customer or not? If not, I have to think twice and thrice, because just doing any business will not work. You have to feel like a customer, and you have to put yourself in customer's pocket, and then you will understand the pain. And once if you get the product, you will feel good. Okay, I'm getting a good product, I'm getting a good cake, I'm feeling good, I feel satisfied. For example, again, say we are all using camera for various reasons. Some of us want to take beautiful pictures, some of us want to just catch a moment, some of us want to just make a video. So we are trying to get different things from the camera. That means the camera is trying to serve the purposes of various kinds of people. So that camera, which is a product, is a successful product in that sense. So think about many things. We'll try to ponder all these things gradually. So try to put always into the shoe of the customer. Otherwise, we'll not understand how much perfect, how good the product is. So again, it is based on the human needs, because it can make the things more easier and better. So always there should be some scope actually. When we talk about human-centric design thinking, where customer is the core of the business, and it is the core of the business, because if we are not trying to solve the customer's problem, we will fail. So think of the business and services. I think many of us remember some of those moments of our life when we really felt great by buying something. Maybe the person really greeted you very well in the shop. Maybe they have given you very good notes after your buying. And maybe the customer was maybe the dealer or the shopkeeper or the business entrepreneur was very patient with you or me. So we cherish those delights as a customer. So think about the businesses or services that really give some delight or happiness to the customer, which the customer is looking for. So these are the design which are not very easy. We have to think about how we can give delight or happiness to the customer with our goods, with our services, because we are trying to solve the pain points of the customers. This is very important. Just providing a good, providing a service will not work. So this human-centric design thinking can make a big difference. Think about it. Because good design improves the business, because when the customer is satisfied, when the customer is really delighted, he will buy the goods again and again, and this repetition is really needed. It should not be like just a person has bought a good and then I never saw that person again. No, I'm from a small business, and here the personal touch, the faith, the word of mouth is very, very important. And that small personal touch will create business for me. And that will create more business for me, because that good gesture will spread the things, and it will be like word of mouth. It will be also helping in more production and more income ultimately. We all understand that. Many times, you know what happens when a customer is struggling, when you and me are struggling as a person and we want some solutions. It might not be case always we really get the good or the product. And this happened before also when computer was not invented. So somebody was thinking that there's no reason long back that everybody will be keeping computer in their homes. But what the reality is, we have different types of computers with us in our life, starting from laptop, cell phone, and a lot more. So sometimes this is also the case that maybe I'm needing something as a customer, but I don't find any solution. I don't find any product which will solve my problem. Because sometimes we try to find out the solutions. What I'm trying to say, I was feeling like to eat some dessert. I prepared the dessert for myself. That was a solution for me, but maybe that was not the perfect solution for me. But there might be the cases that somebody is really looking for dessert and made a fantastic dessert. But again, the person who has made the fantastic dessert might not do the business, and I'm trying to do the business. But my product is not perfect. So again, the question is, sometimes the customer doesn't know what he or she is looking for, what they are looking for to fulfill their problems, gain, and to overcome from their pain points. Because business, we can only do better if we are trying to give what the customer is looking for. Sometimes what happens, like we were talking about the strategy. So here, just see, do you see there is any resemblance or any thing which really goes with Colgate and the food? No. When we talk about Colgate, it is never about the food, right? So if we don't understand that human is the center of our business, we might do these type of disasters. Because they will not understand what should be there in my product, which will really serve the customer's demand. So understanding customer, which is a focal point, is very important. And this is all about the strategy. So if I am not right in understanding the design, which is really needed for my business, my overall planning for the business, starting from the product design, product selling, product pricing, understanding the competition, and again, retaining the customers would be really a failure. And we don't want that. So it is really important for us. It's really significant for us to understand what we are looking for. Am I going to understand the problem properly? Am I making something related with that? So think about business again. If you have to start a business, you have not started anything, you're thinking about starting the business. Are you really going to fulfill the need of the customer? You're trying to provide that services or that product which the consumer is looking for. You're trying to fulfill the pain point of the customer, and the customer is going to get the gain. Why I'm saying this? Because that's not good to just start a business without thinking, a deep thinking, a deep brainstorming. Because small businesses work or run on close relationship, the belief, which we all understand. So we have to discover that by getting feedback. I would really like to ask, or I would really like to know from all of us, do you really think that feedback of the customer work for you or not? Or do you take feedback, or do you have planning to take feedback of the customer? Any idea or anything you would like to share?
In the past, I have worked with companies who requested feedback for customers, and sometimes we as a team didn't like feedback because sometimes we had something on the roadmap that was totally different of what customers wanted. And then we had like to reanalyze everything and re-implement the roadmap. But definitely getting feedback is the right approach because that feedback will help to iterate on the right way, not just like going blindfolded.
Very true, very true. That's very, very important. And why this is important, we should never think that what I'm doing, this is the best way, this is the right way, because it might be the case I'm missing something. I'm forgetting to give that personal touch to the customer. So that's very, very important. Otherwise, I cannot improve. So this discovery is also about taking feedbacks. And many of us, again, I would say, understand very well that the small businesses are really very special because we try to serve the unique needs of the people and we try to customize also many times. Say, for example, somebody says that, okay, listen, I don't like this type of neck. Please make it round. And I will try to do that because I'm dealing with a small group of customers. And for me, fulfilling the want of that specific customer is really important because I don't want to lose that customer. So small businesses with which most of us are involved have really uniqueness because we are trying to serve those people need who are really special for us. And we must try to reflect this in our business solutions. If somebody is really looking for that type of financial services, which will really give some monthly benefit to a person who is really looking for the pension scheme or who is not working anymore. So is that person getting that or not, just for example? So all these things are really important depending upon what type of business I'm going to start or I'm dealing with. Because this design will support the business and ultimately it will try to help the business to get the good profit and sustainable future. So design thinking is trying to solve complex types of problems. Very true. But how can we think differently? Say many of us are doing cloth business. So have we really searched that how many customers we're trying to deal with and how my services are different from your services? Am I putting some new ideas there? Like during the time of festival, am I trying to give a special package with the product of mine? Or I'm trying to give a special message to my customer? So try to think differently, but again, it's not very easy because we all have some mindset. We all think something from a different directions. And that is very much because we belong to different backgrounds. And sometimes, some of the things we just try to observe and follow in the similar manner, meaning say, for example, before COVID maybe, yeah, that's true that people used to work online, but it was not that much wider, right? But gradually we understood that, yeah, this is also one of the way. And many of the organizations who were never thought about doing online work, they also tried and started doing this. So what I'm trying to say that can we think differently? But that thinking should come up with some innovation, new ways of doing things. But it's not possible if we are not open, if I'm not ready to take new ideas, if I'm not trying to think differently, I cannot do different business. And this uniqueness is really important in small businesses. If I'm giving similar type of services which others are also giving, then why people will come to me? So think about that. And that thinking should very much revolve around the customer with which you are dealing, your firm is dealing, your business is dealing. the customer who is coming to you for the financial services, the customer who is coming to you for some specific type of dresses, and so on. So think out of the box. Again, my question, when we do this type of puzzle, I think many of us are aware about that. We never think that we can put something outside, right? Because it's about preemptive mind. How to do that? How to think differently? It's not very easy. Sometimes we are stuck. What to do? I'm not getting any new ideas. Then you have to do brainstorming. And that is needed. So that thinking outside the box is really needed. Just see the Facebook, which has really done a great job in the sense like they try to understand the people's pulse. We really feel happy if somebody gives us the like for some of our posts. It's a human mentality. That means they have done a great research. And then they identified some of the points which they try to put in their strategy. So that's really important that we have to think about something which should be some uniqueness. And that uniqueness will try to give a best solution to the customer. And that is the important thing about human-centric design thinking. It's one of the very important part. So this thinking is giving you the exceptional ideas to solve the complex problems with which the business is dealing, the customer is dealing. Because we are trying to solve, we are trying to give the best product which will solve the pain points. So think faster for the better result, the innovative result. Not easy, but try. And I hope if you think something for some time, you really will get a different idea. A different new horizon will be open for you. Try this. Believe me, you will get something. And that is really needed for your business if you really want to try human-centric design thinking. Think about the business. Think about the customer to whom you are trying to serve or you want to serve. And this uniqueness will brand your business. Start with the people. That's the very main theme of human-centric design thinking. And when you start with the people, when you're putting the people in the center, you will definitely end with the innovative solutions. And that is the thing which we are looking for. Do brainstorming. That is important. Don't just give 5 or 10 minutes. Try to think for hours. Do an exercise. You will get. Let me share one of the experience of mine. When I was doing MIT boot camp, it was our assignment to write 100 ideas. Literally 100 ideas for the business. It's my personal experience. I was really a bit, confused. How can I write 100 ideas? And believe me, I spent 2 hours and I got 80 ideas. I just tried to think and think. So thinking and exercising with the brain is really important. Brainstorming once when you're starting your business is very important. We cannot just start the business. My recycling art cafe, I myself was struggling with, what to do with some of the clothes, not only clothes, some of the other household items. And I realized when I tried to discuss this with some of my colleagues, my friends, some of the family members, I find out many of them are having similar problems. And then I asked what they're doing with that. They said, I don't know. I'm really having the problem of storage and different problems. Different people were having different problems. And what I did, because when we face some problem, we try to find out the solution. Some of them donated this to the people, other underprivileged people. Some of them, they just tried to, put that in some place in a very worse manner. I don't know. I really wanted to do something with those clothes and some other different things. So I tried to create something new out of those. I tried to make some jackets from my long t-shirts, say for example, and I did something more and people liked it. And I used to wear that in some of the programs. And I said, see, this is my recycled one. I recycled this, I upcycled this, and people started liking this. And we all have these type of problems. We have different types of packaging materials, bottles. I tried to also paint them. And then I started my that business. And I saw that people were appreciating because they were also feeling same pain points. So I was a user. I was a lead user, but that lead user thing has given me the way to do business. But this never happened in a single day. And I believe it was true for all of you. How you started your business. You must have thought about the pain points, what people were struggling with, or you were struggling with. And then you thought about the solution. So this is all about what we are looking for in our business. Very important. And as she said, Tatanisha, we will do these things in more detail gradually. So when we talk about human-centric design thinking, it's also about emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Like Selena just said, they took the feedback and then they stopped, then they again started taking feedback because this feedback actually gives you the right idea whether your product design or your product services are really workable or not. What difficulties people are facing there. And if you try to rectify that, so all these are the different phases of human-centric design thinking. And again, this is about the people. This is about solving the needs of the people in today's business reality. So it is encouraging businesses focus on the right people and the right problem. So my pink dress is not solving the problem of everybody. I need different colors dress because some people like blue, red, yellow, green, white. So we have to look for what actually the customers are looking for. So right people and the right problems. Again, I cannot try to solve the problem of everybody. I have to be very focused. I cannot make all the types of dresses. If I do that, I will lose my focus. I have to be very, very focused. That's very important. So how we are all trying to do the business, maybe learning by doing. That's very true for me. I don't know about rest of you, but it's very true for me. And that's really important for me to make my business a better business with right strategy. Because I understood the problem which I was facing and some of the other people like me were facing. So it's very important for anybody to understand whatever business or services you are providing, are you really solving the pain point of somebody or not? You just started business out of the moon. So think about it. So deep insights about the target audience is very important. And we cannot solve the problem of everybody. We have to be very focused. We have to get ideas, we have to get feedbacks, and there are different ways of getting feedbacks. And these feedbacks we can get with the help of different types of surveys to understand the market. We cannot just replicate others. As I just said, and we all understand, it will not take us to the long. So there is something about innovation, solution-based. And believe me, all these things are really very, very important for the small business success because we have to also look for the competition because we are looking for the revenue. We have to attract more customers. And if we give better services, if the customers will experience good with us, they will bring more customers. So this is important to deliver good, and that can make the business more sustainable. Let me give you some examples, like those who tried this before, they have seen the good revenue hikes. It's not only like this strategy was not successful. So I was one of the lead user because I was facing the problem of more dresses, more household items which was not in use. So lead user is very important. Do you understand that? Do you understand the business need of yours? So somebody is really having the pain point. How? I need to stop my knee from bleeding. Somebody got hurt and wanted something. So there was a solution, the bandage. If I'm giving bandage, there could be some other solutions as well. Think about it, because we are trying to solve the pain points of the customer with some solution. But my solution, when I'm talking about, should have some uniqueness, right? So it's a thing of brainstorming. And when I will try to make it really better, I can get more commercial market and I can bring the innovation in that. How to get the feedback? I was just trying to say we can apply different types of strategies. We can ask people, we can do focus group discussion, we can take some interviews or something like that. But there also, never try to influence the customers if you're asking for the feedback, the honest feedback. And try to be open-ended so that you will get the great feedback, which you never thought about. And this happens, and that's very true. Otherwise, consumers will not open up with you fully. So there should be some open-ended questions if you're putting questionnaires, or if you're talking with the customers, try to ask them more and more and more. So they will open up and you will get right feedback, which will help you in designing your strategy. The human-centric design thinking would be innovative, would be real strategy for you. So there are a lot more which we will try to see. It's also about the segment of the customers with which we are trying to deal with. So we should not just see everybody. As I just said, the market segment is very important. And in that market segment, we have to think about the user profile, because there's a pricing for the product. Whether my product is trying to solve the problem of the customer with the reasonable rate or not, reasonable price or not, that's also very important. So customer profile, when we talk about, the user profile, when we talk about, many things come here, not only the pricing. And that is about persona. You should understand the persona of yours. You should understand the customer of yours, the human of yours, which is taking services from you. And you will try to see the whole market with whom you are trying to deal with. This is called total addressable market. You will also try to see not only the demographics, you will also try to see the motivational aspects, somewhere it is really needed, and sometimes the behavior of the customer. Because there are different categories of customers, and you want to do a great business, you want to deal with the greater group of customers. So these are all very important. And it's not only that finishing point which we are looking for by selling just product. We want that customer to come again and again. So we are really interested in full life cycle case of the customer, so that that customer will coming repeatedly. And that frequency is really important. And there are different ways of creating that frequency for different types of businesses. Sometimes we go for subscription. Sometimes we go for some other ways of doing that. So yeah, that's about that. And then the distribution, as I said, That's also about costing, the competition, and choosing the right path. All of them are related with human-centric design thinking, which is not very easy to complete today or talk about this fully. So I just am trying to give you some general ideas. What are the different aspects which really will give you some great insights for the right strategy? Because you need more customers. So how about the acquisition process? Being the small business, I believe we don't have that much capacity to spend a lot for our marketing. So how to get that pools of customers? So there could be some organic marketing. We could do more networking. We could just spread our good aspects, better aspects to the people. And we can go for the acquisition of more customers without spending a single penny. There are ways. So we have to look for that as well. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pinki. That was wonderful. I just want to ask everyone in the room, how many of you have heard of human-centric design thinking before today? Has anyone heard of it before? Okay, Selena. Okay. Verena. Gurinder. Okay, perfect. Okay. So how many have got at least one piece of something new from today's chat? Gurinder. Okay, wow, that's wonderful. Thank you for the feedback. That's wonderful. So I just want to say again, Pinki, this was wonderful. I know it's such a heavy or big topic to piece into, and I think you did a wonderful job of giving us an overview. I especially like the key that you kept bringing up, which was the fact that small businesses have something different that bigger businesses don't have, which is that unique relationship with the consumer, and that they can offer that unique value, unique solutions. I also like that you brought up just the importance of exploring the demographics and making sure that you're consistently taking feedback and reapplying and executing the feedback as the way to come up with innovative solutions. So that was really, really wonderful. And I know we have 2 other sessions set up for this. So for everyone who's new, who didn't hear me earlier, we're going to have a part 2. And part 2, Pinki's just going to go a little bit deeper, and it would be especially helpful if you come in with some of your problems or your pain points, and we can use those to work together to help find those solutions. So the next sessions are going to be a little bit more practical. This one is very much an overview lecture style, and then the future ones are going to be a little bit more getting our hands dirty. How does that sound? Sounds good?
Yes, please.
Awesome.
Welcome. It was very good, and we are very curious to listen to again in the next session.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'll open it up. Anybody have any questions for Pinki and the talk for today? Or comments? If you have comments too, that's great.
We will be first doing the brainstorming and then ask.
Yes, okay, so you're ready for brainstorming. That's good. That's good. I think it's especially helpful to get even deeper into the brainstorming. As you said, Pinki, like of course you can have an idea as who's gonna like your products, who's gonna like your solution. But when you dig deeper, you're like, how old are they? Where are they from? Like, do they have problems around the cold? Like, those are really important questions and have to do with the environment, their lifestyle. So those are really good pieces that you brought up. Anybody else have questions or comments?
Thank you very much. Looking
Will you be
forward to
sending the
next one.
PPT?
Oh, sorry.
You will be sending the PPT?
Yes, the PowerPoint. Yes. Pinki, is that something we can share after?
Yeah, I believe if we finish the other sessions, it would be really easier for you to understand and get it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. So at the end of the third session, we'll send it out. Yes, 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 yes. And Selena, you put something in the chat, but you were saying something earlier. You want to jump in and say and add your piece?
No, I just wanted to thank Pinki. Even if I was already familiar with some of the concepts, because I'm a product manager certified, it's good to think about and to have a refreshment, because for me, one of the most complicated parts of my business idea development is to find the pain points, especially because I'm looking forward to have a social business, and I understand what is the impact directly on the indigenous communities of artisans in Mexico. That part, I'm very, very sure the benefit and the pain points, but how the Canadian customer will resolve his pains or their pains, that is like still a challenge for me. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I was thinking about your business quite a bit because I'm like, I know you have that storytelling piece to it. So I was like, who is the person who gets delighted by storytelling? Who is the person who gets delighted by homewares and storytelling and helping Indigenous communities?
And by the stories of those artisans.
Yeah. Where are they?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so amazing. That's amazing. Bridget, are you still with us?
Yes.
Yes.
I was even about to raise my hand for just for a comment. I really appreciate the information you have really given to us, and from there, I can say I pick some things, though there are challenges I've been facing. And this challenge is like the product I'm into. So back from home, I combine the entire family for the business. So I make fabric for men, for women, for children. But here I discovered I have to be specific, and I've like the brainstorming you discuss really touched me, because I've been trying to make a research to know which one should I hold on to, because I discovered that here you can't go with everything. So I have to pick one, but with my research, I've not been able to settle for which one will go best, because I discovered that ordinarily those things in most cases goes for occasions here because of the weather we have, which is not really favorable, like the weather, as you mentioned, like the one we have back home. So if it is occasion, I don't know who to choose, whether the children, whether the men or the women. So I've been able to handle one situation, which is because I used to go online to get those fabric. But now I've been able to I discovered that going online to get those fabric they are not really profitable for me. So I've been able to go back home. So I've been able to establish that I get people who will get them for me back home. So I've succeeded in knowing how to ship it down here. So now I have them, but how to go about selling them, my major problem is technology, because I have no shop to settle down with. I can't even afford it now. And I needed to put it online. So my major problem is this technology on putting it online. So even if I have somebody that will put it online for me, how to follow up? Because I've faced, in my own personal account, I've faced, my account has been compromised. So this time around that I want to open an account that will really go for business. So I want to be very careful to know exactly what I'm doing with someone online. So I have all those little challenges, which I believe brainstorming is really involved when it comes to that. But at the same time, I can't do it all by myself. So that is it.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Bridget. I think those are real pain points, and I think they are also a lot for you to handle. So I appreciate you sharing it with all of us. And I think other people also have those challenges too. I think something Pinki said earlier about the Canadian or just consumers also wanting trust has to do with the safety piece. So you want to make sure that you have technology that's safe, and your consumers also want technology. You want the same things essentially, but it's going about that brainstorming to find out, how to do that in the most effective way. Did you want to add anything, Pinki?
I'm again thinking about, like, you have to also see what type of customers you are dealing with. Are really aware about the different demographic features of the customers? That's again very important. If you think that many of the customers would like to, just deal with the things face to face, that could be also one of the options. But again, the costing is one of the biggest challenge. Yeah, so it's a thing of many things we have to think about, starting from customers' feedback and your costing and the beachhead market, which you really want to focus about, which we'll discuss later on in a little more descriptive manner. Yeah.
Yeah, the next session is going to be on the 16th. I'll send out an email similar to the one that you got. But yeah, Bridget, definitely a good point you brought up earlier, which is, where do you go? Like, you can't necessarily sell to everyone like you did back home. When you're here, you want to sell to the person or the kind of person who's going to be more profitable, so you can grow your business and hopefully get a shop, if that's your goal, right? So have you thought about reaching out to your existing clients to understand why they're buying and,
Yes, I've done that, but I can say it's now that I really want to settle down for the business because one major challenge I faced right from time, I've lost a lot of customers because of lack of space. So because I was so cramped that even when I have customers, because my major customers are one-on-one, because I put my cards in African stores. And in most cases, when they go there to buy things, or mostly in Mama C, when they buy fabric, they needed somebody to make it for them. But recently, I tried to stop that because I don't even have the space. But now, by last month, I was able to get a better space, residential for myself. So I was able to get a basement comfortable for the business. So now I want to really resume the business and see, at least to start with, one-on-one.
of course.
Yes. So then I can forge ahead from there, advertise more, and because now I'm thinking of printing cards, flyers that I can distribute around, and some other things like that.
To bring people to you. And so once you figure out who that ideal customer is, then it would be even easier to know who to give the flyers to as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And Yash, before we go, did you want to add anything?
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, might we she will be covering how to find a customer. You will be covering that, how to find a customer.
Yes.
Talk to them, how to visit them, and without involving too much costs. All that we need, we need. Yeah. Because suppliers I have in India. My daughter is in Surat. This is the manufacturing hub of clothes. But finding customer, it is very, very hectic thing.
You're hoping your customer is going to be in Canada, correct?
Yes, I have visited so many events here, and every year I went there and distributed my visiting cards. I don't think anybody turned up. Only a few questions came to me. Then they wanted to show me the product physically. That I don't have here. I showed them on website only. Then they did not turn up. I would
Okay.
like to know how to approach them here.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we'll definitely cover that. All right. So I appreciate everyone for taking the time to be here today. I know there's so many other things you could be doing, but this is just so amazing that you're here. I'll bid you a good evening, and we will come back on the 16th, same time, to do some more brainstorming.
Thank you for organizing this event, and thank you to Pinki also. Thank you. We will meet you again. And thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Just one thing, Tatanisha,